Who's there?
Nay, answer me. Stand and unfold yourself.
Long live the king.
Bernardo,
He.
you come most carefully upon your hour.
'Tis now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco.
For these much thanks. It's bitter cold and I am sick at heart.
Have you had quiet guard?
Not even a stirring.
Well, good night. If you do meet Horatio or Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste.
I think I hear them. Stand, oh! Who is there?
Friends to this ground,
and liegemen to the day.
Give you good night.
Oh, farewell, honest soldier, who hath relieved you?
Bernardo has my place. Give you good night.
Holla, Bernardo.
Say what, is Horatio there?
a piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What? Has this thing appeared again tonight?
I've seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us. Therefore I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again this apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it.
Tush, twill not depart.
Sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears. They are once fortified against our sword, what we have tonight seen.
Well, we sit down, and let us hear Bernardo speak of this.
Last night of all, when yon same star that westward from the pole had made his course to illumine the heart of heaven, what now burns Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating one.
Peace, break thee off. Look where it comes again.
In the same figure like the king that is dead.
Thou art a scholar, Horatio. Speak to it, Horatio.
Looks not like the king.
Was like, it heralds me with fear and wonder.
It would be spoke to.
Speak to it, Horatio.
What art thou, Ust, this time of night, together with the fair warlike fawn, in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometime march? By heaven, I charge thee, speak!
It is offended.
See his socks away.
Stay, speak, speak! I charge thee, speak!
'Tis gone, and will not answer.
How now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. Is not something more than fantasy? But think you on it.
Before my God, I might not disbelieve without this sensible and true avouch of my own eyes.
Is it not like the king?
As thou art to thyself, such was the very armor he had on. When he was the ambitious Norway combated, so frowned he once when, in an angry pal, he smote and sleded Polax in the ice. 'Tis strange.
Thus twice before, and jumped at this said hour, with martial stalk hath he gone by our watch.
In what particular thought to work, I know not, but in the grosser scope of mine opinion, his body some strange eruption to our state.
Good now, sit down and tell me, he that knows, why this same strict and most observant watch so nightly toils the subject of the land, and why such daily cast of brazen cannon and foreign mart for implements of war, why such impressive shipwrights, whose sore task does not divide the Sunday from the week, what might be toward that the sweaty haste doth make it night joint laborer with the day. Who is it that can inform me?
That can I. At least the whisper goes so. Our last king, whose image even now appeared to us, was, as you know, by Fortinus of Norway, thereto pricked on by most emulate pride, dared to the combat in which our valiant Hamlet, for so this side of our known world esteemed him, did slay this 14 Ras, who by sealed compact, well ratified by law and heraldry, did forfight with his life all those his lands which he stood seized there to the conqueror, against the mighty of combatant, was gauged by our king which had returned to the inheritance of the 14 Ras. Had he been vanquisher as by the same covenant, and carriage by the article designed, his fell to Hamlet now sir 14 Ras, of unproved metal, hot and full, hath in the skirts of Norway, here and there, shocked up the list of a lawless resolutes, for food and diet, to some enterprise, and at the stomach in which is no other, as it doth will appear into our state, but to recover us by strong hand and terms compulsory, those foresaid lands so by his father lost, and this, I take it, is the main motive of our preparations. The source of this our watch, and the chief head of this apostate rummage in the land.
I think it be no other but bien so. Or may it sort that this portentous figure comes armed through our watch so like the king. That was the question of these wars.
A mouth, it is to trouble the mind's eye, in the most high and palmy state of Rome, little ere the mightiest Julius fell, the grave stood tenantless, and the sheeted dead. This squeak and gibber in the Roman streets, as stars with strains of a fire endues the blood. Disasters in the sun and the moist star, upon whose influence Neptune's empire stands, was sick almost to doomsday with eclipse, and even like the precursor of feared events, as harbingers proceeding still, the fates and prologue to the omen coming on, have heaven and earth demonstrated unto acclimatures and countrymen. But soft, behold, lo where it comes again, I'll cross it, do it blast me! Ah! If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me! If there be any good thing to be done, that may do ease and grace to me, speak to me, I say! If thou art privy to the king's fate, which happily foreknowing may avoid, thou speak, or if thou hast upholded in their life, extorted treasure in thy womb of the earth, for which they say you spirits have walked to death, speak of it! Stay and speak! Stop it, Marcellus!
Shall I strike it with my partisan?
Do, if it will not stand.
'Tis here!
'Tis here!
'Tis gone, we do it wrong, being so majestical, to offer it the show of violence, for it is as the air invulnerable, and our vein blows malicious mockery.
I was about to speak as a cock crew.
And then it startled like a guilty thing. Upon the fearful summons I have heard, the cock! That is the trumpet to the morn. Doth with lofty and shrill shouting throat awake the god of day, and at his warning, whether in sea or fire, in earth or air, the extravagant and airy spirit hies to his confine and the truth heron. This present object made probation.
It faded on the crowing of the cock. Some say that it ever gains. The season comes when our Savior's birth is celebrated. The bird of dawning singeth all night long, and then they say no spirit dare stir abroad. The nights are wholesome, then no planets strike, no fairy takes, nor witch hath power to charm. So hallowed and so gracious is that time.
So have I heard, and do in part believe it. But look, the morn in russet mantle clad walks o'er the dew on the yarn of the eastward hill. Let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet, for upon his life the spirit damned to us will speak to him. Do you consent we shall acquaint him with it, as needful in our loves fitting our duty?
Let's do it, I pray, and this morning know where we shall find him most conveniently.
I'll be back.
I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth.
Yes!
Mark your Horatio.
Come on! Come on!
Okay, I gotta get it out, dude.
Yeah, you just gotta. Just gotta push your lips down. Your scowl. You just gotta.
Oh. For so
Spread it over.
And lead you into the day.
Con los terroristas.
And do the Harlem Shake.